Hi, my name is Tricia Fitzhugh, and I'd like to share my view of nursing ethics with you. This video is my opportunity to tell you what I think ethical nursing behavior looks like from an ethical perspective, a policy perspective, and a legal perspective. My daughter and I had a conversation the other day about how to be an ethical person. And I told her that people know what your ethics are by listening to what you say, but particularly by watching what you do. We all have opportunities every day to act in an ethical manner, but the decisions must be made consciously. If we know what our ethics are, we will be able to respond to new situations in an ethical manner. I have a tool that I like to use when I'm not sure what to do in a clinical setting. I like to see things written down, so I use the 4-box paradigm. It comes from the book Clinical Ethics by Johnson, Ziegler, and Winslade. Here's the reference for anybody who would like to look this up for him or herself. The first box is medical indications. It addresses the ethical principles of beneficence and non-maleficence. And basically it lets you say, what is the medical problem? What are the goals of treatment? When would medical treatment not be indicated? And what are the probabilities for success of the various treatments? Basically, how would this benefit the patient, and how will we keep from hurting the patient if we do this? The next slide is the next box, and it addresses patient preferences. How do we make sure that we honor the autonomy of the patient? So the first thing we have to know is, has the patient been informed of the risks and benefits? Does he or she understand it? And has he or she given consent? Another question would be, is there some reason the patient is unwilling or unable to undergo the treatment? Does the patient have the capacity to make decisions? If not, did the patient express his or her wishes at some time in the past? And if the patient can't make any decisions, we need to know who the decision-making surrogate is so we can make sure that we honor the autonomy of the patient. The third slide is quality of life. Doing good, avoiding harm, and honoring the autonomy of the patient. So what's the likelihood that the patient's going to return to baseline, with or without treatment? Do we know what the acceptable quality of life would be for this patient, if he could tell us? Does the provider have any biases that would affect his or her evaluation of the patient's quality of life? Those are the kind of questions we need to ask in this box. The last box is looking at the context. How do we make sure that we honor justice and fairness in our decisions? So the concerns here are, is there a conflict of interest in the provider, the surrogate, the clinic, or other parties who are making these decisions? What religious issues might affect clinical decisions? We all know people whose religious beliefs have a whole lot to do with what decisions they make for their health. What legal issues might affect clinical decisions? What financial issues might affect those decisions? Are there public health or safety issues involved? Is there an allocation of scarce resources that we need to think about? So what I like about the 4-box paradigm is that it doesn't give a right answer. Instead, it allows participants to develop the answer that fits the situation. It creates a format that provides discussion points for those people who are talking about making the decision. It ensures that as many as possible of the important concerns are identified and addressed, and it documents how the decision was made. So now let's go on to discuss the nurse's policy and legal responsibilities as far as I see them. The Nursing Code of Ethics says that we are supposed to promote, advocate, and strive to protect the health, safety, and rights of the patient, and to promote community, national, and international efforts to meet health needs. To me, this is a clear indication that we as nurses need to try to help formulate public policy to make sure that everybody has health care. Healthcare, universal health care, is a human right, and nurses should work to make sure that nobody has to do without it. It is absolutely incomprehensible to me that in our country, people have to file bankruptcy to pay for their medical care. We as nurses also have responsibilities in the legal arena. We need to support laws that mandate equal treatment for all people, regardless of age, gender, sex orientation, ethnic background, or any of the other multitude of reasons people discriminate against each other. We also need to vote for candidates. Find out what they really stand for and vote for candidates who respect the inherent dignity and worth of every individual. Thanks for watching.